Hi, welcome. Welcome to a new, not a new chat, a new live stream. And I hope you guys had a great start into 2020. Yeah, I was, actually not a lot online. So it was just relaxing, chilling with the family. So I hope you had a great start. And as you can see here, I'm just going into the main mode here. So you can see that I already have some. Let's put these together. I just want to do a little bit of a template talk today because I did a few template videos during the last few years, and I realized it has been just too long that I was just talking about, template stuff in general, and especially that I have my new main machine or my new machine ready now. I think it's pretty interesting to just fool around and test around all these things I wanted to test. And the thing is, it actually got way more easy or way more unsophisticated, so to say. And I mean, if you just have any questions about, template stuff, I was just quickly checking when I announced this stream on Facebook that people could, if they have any questions. And I think the most what came up was the reverb settings. But I will get to that in a moment. Where's my water bottle? I just want to talk about something first, which is very, very essential to me when it comes to, getting not just the template done who you work with, but also the folder structure. I remember that I did a video, but it's probably like 10,000 years old. And hey, Thomas, how are you? And I remember that I did it like 10 years ago, but things have changed. And especially with Cubase, since Cubase doesn't give you folder structure, for example, like Studio One does. But let me just go through what I'm trying to talk about. So on my session drive, I have one folder, which is Cubase projects. So I got all my Cubase projects, all my project files. And with these project files, I mean that I dedicate one folder to just one track. So if you can see there, I'm writing a trailer album and I just have 3 tracks. And so every track gets one folder. And inside I have I put a 01 in front of it, so it's always on top. And I have this default project folder here. And inside that folder, I have this structure going on, which is basically 01 again. So it's always on top, the Cubase project. In that, back to Cubase, I will get to that in a little bit. Hey everyone new. How are you guys? And oh, you remember that video? Yeah, that has been like, yeah, as I said, 10 years probably ago. I was still on my Mac, so definitely I had my old machine for like 7 or 8 years. So this was probably around that time when I got my Mac back then. And so what I'm trying to talk about now is that the same thing as back then, but now with just a little bit, optimized. So inside this Cubase project folder, I got, which is empty, which is just a template. So we don't talk just about orchestral or Cubase templates, but also folder templates. This is basically the folder where all my Cubase stuff goes into. When you create a structure, we are right now in this folder fooling around. So you can already see that I saved. I will get to that also in a bit. Please remind me if I forget it. You also got the track pictures folder, audio stuff, so which is the stuff that Cubase sets up. So basically everything what is related to Cubase goes into that folder. The next folder is here, dev stuff, developer stuff. This is basically everything, template, temp tracks, or cutscenes for gaming cutscenes, whatever, storyboard stuff, documents, whatever, everything from the developer. What I need in terms of information to get this track done. The next folder is Midi, which is pretty obvious too. If I get, from another composer. So recently, I hope I can announce that soon, but I got the basic arrangement files from another composer. And I was doing the final arrangement for that project. So I received MIDI files from that person, and also if I write a final arrangement and it then has to be recorded, or it will be recorded with real orchestra, I'm handing out the MIDI to my orchestrator, because to be honest, I mean, I could kind of do it, set up my orchestral stuff, but there are people who are way better than me. And this is not just, a question of self-doubt or anything. This is it's just a fact. I mean, there are people who do nothing else than orchestrate, or mostly orchestrate. And I tend to write the music and get it all done with a mock-up and everything, and then hand it over to my orchestrator. And so I put the MIDI files in here. Next thing would be the recordings folder, which is basically as in this example, when I get real orchestra sessions or additional recordings like vocals, drums, whatever, I put these in here. Because, I mean, this folder structure to me is essential, because we all know how quickly it can go that you just mess up all the stuff you receive, documents, recordings, and then you don't have much time, then you come up with some, weird structures on your desktop, and then on your sample drive, and then you suddenly don't have space, and then you go to the system drive, whatever, so the stuff is cluttered around all your system. But I want to have a tidied up projects or organized project files, because it can easily happen. And I had it too often that somebody asked me, hey, you wrote this track seriously like 5 or 7 years ago, and we want to change something, or we have the chance to sell that track. And hey, women, how are you? Thanks for following me. I was just a little bit scared because the effect is so loud. Just have to I don't care. I have to get used to it again. So it can happen that somebody asks you for a track you wrote like 5 or 7 years ago. It's always good to have this structure going on. And if somebody asks me, Cubase project files from that time, the score sheets or whatever, it's all there. Yes, so recordings go into this score, finish just the PDF file. If I have to write a quick, some like a quick sketch score for a violinist or a vocalist or so. So I don't need an orchestrator for doing this, but I could probably just hit Control-R in Cubase and just export it. Nothing big, but just to have it all in here. Stems would be everything. I have to get to the developer or the license company, because it happens the same. It happens, I think, too many times. And even I was just thinking about, because I wrote tracks, probably like, 3 or 4 years ago, and then you still get a request for sending out special mixes and put the stems or unmastered without, for example, drums or the electronic instruments. So you can quickly load in the stems and just, get a new mix done. Videos out is also there for previews, and no worries. Video out is if you have, for example, you worked on a game cutscene and you just want to send out a quick preview. That's the beauty, I think, of Cubase can do it. Studio One can do it. I'm not familiar with other sequencers, with other DAWs that much. So you can quickly create a video preview, because it's always good to have a final preview going to the developer rather than sending them some MP3 and saying, hey, this is your file, put it into whatever, video editing software you have there. And the last thing is waves and MP3, which is pretty obvious. This is just the main folder for my mixes or the previews, the MP3 stuff. So that's basically the structure. So if I am assuming, if I create a new, let's just simply create a new thing. I'm hitting Control-Shift-N, which is for a new folder, and I just say new track. I'm just doing it like this. So this is obviously empty. Then I go to my Cubase default folder here and just copy that stuff, hitting Control-C and Control-V, just in case you don't know how to copy stuff. I mean, that stuff happens. And yes, so I got this session in here. Now we already got a template open because I have my voice in here in the template. So if I'm creating a new track, I'm hitting that here, Control N, and then I can pick my template. And I always go for prompt for project location. And then I just pick the template here and say create. And then I can go to my Cubase project folder in here and say new track. And then I hit this one and I hit pick that. And then it loads my template. But I just don't want to do this because I don't want to double load the template. So the first time when you have this template ready, or this empty track, the next important thing for me is saving a track. So I'm going to File, and I'm not hitting Save or Save As. I always use Save New Version. So I put this on my, you can't see that here. The cable is too short. I would love to show this to you. So I have to have another camera ready here to have this stuff visible. Just fighting with a cable. So, okay, so I have my Stream Deck here, and I put this to the, I put this key command in here. So when I hit, just if you can see this, I'm not sure if you can see this right up here. It says fooling around -03 or 03. And if I hit the Save New button again, it creates a 04 version. So so if I check this folder again here, let's delete this new track thing here because we don't use this. Fooling around, so you go in here and you see that there's fooling around 04 in here. So by doing this, I mean, it's crazy. You can see this is like 140 MB megabytes for one empty project. But I mean, it's very essential to me because if I think it's 9 p.m. in the night and I decided, the project was cool until like 3 or 4 p.m. I just go back to that to that specific point in time and saying, okay, I just want to go from there, or I want to create another version, let's say like an alternative mix or whatever, or with other elements, but not having this cluttered inside the same session. Okay, so that's basically the thing I'm using for the folder structure. And now let's get to the actual template itself. So there is not actually a lot of going on. And again, if you have any questions, just shoot. I'm trying to catch up with the chat. And let me just so you already may have seen this. So if I save a new version, it just takes like 1 or 2 seconds. But the thing is, when I open up all my tracks here, let's say the folders, strings, brass, woods, orchestral percussions, let's expand them all, but one by one. So I'm still not done. I still have to do a lot of stuff. And I organized the stuff with, it's basically just an essential template. So I organized the stuff which sketching out and ensemble stuff. So I have nucleus stuff right away here because stuff here, and to be able to quickly sketch things, having ideas in my head, whatever, so that it's like the most common articulations are loaded up here and I can go for it. Then I have folders like the BSS, which is Berlin Symphonic Strings. So I have the entire palette of symphonic Berlin strings in here. Not the entire palette, but what I'm using mostly. But it's, I just have to take care of where is my picture here? So I have to take care that I'm not using this area. I did a few mistakes on the last videos where I just had stuff going on here, which was very essential to show. But anyway, so these tracks are all grayed out. And the thing is, these are all deactivated. So I have another shortcut going on here. Track on off. So you can also hit right click and then you say enable track. So let's just, activate. It takes a while. My voice is muted while Cubase is loading this. And then you can see that I instantly loaded this stuff here. Let me just, yeah. And I have the library going on, and I can instantly... So it's, you know, it's just a quicker way of having this. I was deactivating the track again. So it's a quicker way of, you know, I don't want to, when I'm working, I don't want to get distracted by just, you know, finding stuff or trying to dig up stuff. So I just have this template deactivated ready. And so you also see stuff here, performance samples stuff, the flute shorts, and cinematic studio strings in here, all these articulations, but also deactivated. So because, I mean, you would never, and this is what I don't like about, you know, earlier templates of mine, or when I see like, of course you can have a template with like 1,000 or 2,000 tracks, but the thing is, you know, it's also a matter of, first of instability. If you have like 1,000 tracks or 2,000 or 3,000 tracks at hand, it can happen that something get, you know, kind of disconnected, or if it happens with other slaves and servers, stuff can happen. And you know, I mean, you basically need like 25%, probably 25% of the stuff you have in your template. I never wrote a track where I needed all tracks I was hosting in there. It's just, so it's always options. But to me, it's always best when I have all these tracks deactivated and then activate just when I need them. And this is just, you know, too quick. I mean, it's quickly done. Or it's way more quicker than just you know, opening a contact instance and fooling around with a library bar at the side, or even in the directory in the browser. So this is the entire template here. Let's head over to the mixer, because just have to move this over here. So as you always can see, here below here, you have the group tracks. So I got all libraries. I have above here, let's stick with the strings for a second. I have all these, can you see that? No, so let me just activate. So activate one, you can see that, no, you can't see it here. You can see it probably somewhere. Oh, it's somewhere. What? Yeah? Audio sense? No. Oh, I never used this thing here on the side. So you can see whatever. You can see that I'm here on this track, and that it goes to contrabass, double bass. I always say contrabass. So I got basically all the basses, all the cello and stuff like this. I have in I have these group tracks going on. So all cellos, all violas go into these specific buses here. And then these buses, as you can see here, this is contrabass 2, violin 1, all these go into strings. And I use this feature, you probably know this, in case not, this is pretty cool. So you can assign where you want to have specific groups. So I have my stereo out at the very right, and I have all my strings, brass, woods, orchestra, percussions. I have them split up and all in this separate area to the right here too. So by browsing, or by you know, just roaming through all these things here, through all these tracks, I always got my oversight and the control of these main buses, so to say. So if I let's go to strings here. Of course, this goes directly into the strings bus, and the strings bus again goes into the orchestral bus. So let's pick that contrabass here. So you can see that this track goes right into C bass or double bass, and then I got these subgroups inside this, let's say the left half of the mixer. And then this one goes to strings. So the reason why I'm doing this, hey, Pop L2 Spam, I don't remember your real name, but thanks for chiming in. Thanks for being here. And I got these subfolders or sub buses, so to say. I got these in the left part of my template because they are not that important. But just in case somebody comes up and says, you know, I want to have stems of all strings separated. I want double basses, I want the cello, I want the viola split up. I can say, okay, no worries. I can batch export just these things. Let me just put up that thing here. So you can see if I go to multiple, I can just simply hit all group channels. And I can export everything, like the contrabass, all these instruments, French horns, whatever, flutes, and so on. But I can also print the strings, the brass, the woods, and the orchestral percussions and everything, the synths, the choirs, and everything. And I can even go in here and pick specific instruments. I mean, if he says, if that person, if the producer says, I want every single instrument you have in here, I say, okay, and that's it. And this is the beauty of multi how do they call it, multi batch export, or yeah, let's call it like multiple track export batch thingy, whatever. So I can just go in here and say, okay, all instrument tracks, and just in case if I have audio channels, I can assign these to and just export them, and that's it. So there is no need to sit days or even weeks. I remember back then I was testing a sequencer. Okay, I can call you Johnny. Popcorn pizza. That's interesting. So I remember back then I was working with another DAW, which is Mac based. And it took me like, I don't know, it took me like how many, I think it took me like a full week to export these, the stems for that project. And it was just a simple nightmare. So I said, never again. So, but by doing this technique, I could just say, okay, you want the strings, the brass, the woods, or so the main stems, and I can just put these and just export them, and that's it. So the thing is, for my reverb, okay, let me just, do you put anything on your master mix bus if you're bouncing stems? That's interesting. It depends on the project. I mean, if that person, or if the client, let's say the client wants simply stems because they're mixing for themselves, I'm not taking care of mastering these buses here. If it's for production music and the client wants pre-mastered stems, I will make sure I have my limiter here. So for all kinds of reasons to have this limiter going on. So just in case if we do that video now and it clips, or if I'm writing music and I just experiment around with, or, you know, trying to successfully route my hardware stuff to prevent feedback or anything, that I at least get a limited feedback. Yeah, but if the client wants pre-mastered stems, I will probably not using limiter here. I mean, I could still leave it on here, but I could just copy it over. Let's say I copy it over here, and so on. I also know somebody helped me that I can just click that link and just hit delete. Because I remember in the last video I complained about that you have to go here and say no effect. So you can simply, when it's activated, you can simply hit delete and you can delete the effect right away. So just in case you didn't know that. Yeah, the Iom limiter, it's pretty cool. Yes, so yeah, I tried a lot of limiters, and I feel this can go pretty loud without smashing or like over compressing or what you mean when it's when you master the track and it starts distorting or the track is starting to crumble, and which is also pretty cool that you have this unity gain monitoring, so the track stays as loud as before, so you're not getting distracted by volume. You just can focus on the when the crumbling starts and just go back to it and then deselect the unity gain. This is pretty cool. So yes, but so it depends on the project. So that's why it's very open. I also have just some subtle stuff going on. Let me just open it for the strings. I got this RC48. Let me just open something new. Let me just load the first violins. Might take a second. Oh, we're already back. That's cool. So let me just get rid of the. No, I don't want you. I just want to get rid of the browser. So so it's almost not there. I'll mute my microphone for a second. So it's just a tad. I always like this. Okay, I always forget how I set this to solo defeat. So it's just a little bit, and the reason I usually have all the reverb on my orchestral bus sitting there, but I just put it in general to the strings and the brass and the woods. So because it happened before that I exported general stems, and then when I was sending off the general stems to the client, and he forgot to put reverb on it. Even though I mentioned, hey, if you mix that tracks, you put some reverb on it, and it didn't happen. So I decided, I go with the reverb on the strings or on the individual sections. Another thing is, what did I want to say about a room? Yes, I get this question a lot, that people ask me, how do I match libraries? And the simple thing is, I don't. I don't match libraries because I like the depth and the room of all these individual libraries. So why should I try to match Cinematic Studio strings or Berlin strings to make them sound exactly like Nucleus strings? So it's not really possible. It's very hard to do, to match all these libraries. But what I also think is, when you try to match the libraries with EQ or whatever, you kind of lose the room information of you lose the room information of all these individual libraries. So I tend to just layer the different rooms and the different libraries, and then it feels like that you get like this broader, like a more juicy or more broad image of for example, just the strings. So yeah, so what can we do next? We could come up writing something, and or just in case you don't have any questions. But that would be the basic, the main setup of my of the template in general, because the only thing I forgot what I want to do right now, I also think I took care of this in previous video, is explaining that I like to I think I have just, let me just use the internal equalizer, that I have this bump going on at around 4 kilohertz. And I will show you why. By fooling around with a mouse when I have the hardware controller here. So let me just create this bump. Kind of like, I will switch it off and play it again, because it makes sense. Here are my strings, and just come up with that in general EQ. It's a bit hard because I have this EQ going on here. On the no. Where did I just create this? Oh boy. New Year's Eve is still. So, oh, sorry, no. Where did I just delete it? Did anyone see where I created this? I think I did it exactly on the, here on my, no. Again, whatever. I think I did it. Confusion. Anyway, I think I deactivated it, so let's do it again here. So I just create this bump again at around 4 kilohertz, and I really put it down to like -60 B. Do it like this. Can you stay on top, please? Yes. It always jumps to the, yes, that's happening. It always jumps to the setting of this. So you have to sort of do it like this. So I have to manually pick this is what happened. So I have to. So what happens basically is that you take out a little bit of that, harshness of the strings. I mean, it's always kind of hard to get these, it's kind of hard to get these, to get high for especially legato lines, octaved legato lines. They always sound a little bit Midi-ish and unrealistic, and I feel that you can get a little bit more close to the real thing by just introducing that little bump here. So, okay, so I just leave that bump in here. And there is also, there is no further processing going on for each of these instruments. So I leave basically everything as is, which brings me to the questions I received on my Discord channel. And you are, just in case if you're not there, just if you're interested, let me know. I can, you're invited to my Discord channel. So I have a Discord channel, and this always like, already like, how many people are in there? Probably like 110 already. So that's pretty cool. There's a lot of, let me just quickly show this here. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. We have a lot of sections and music questions, music feedback, hardware and software, collaboration, self-promotion, all these things. So if you want to join, let me know. And what I wanted to say, I received that question regarding mixing and mastering for different projects. And the thing is, I just leave that stuff open until the very end, because I see it like a meal in a sense. How much do you put on your plate of each of these? If I would just say I put up this much or this much, I just have to see how it all looks on the on the plate when it's finished. So I can't say that I mix something always this way or master something always this way. I leave this to the end. So are you good with your hearing to hear what chords are you playing and stuff? What do you mean? So you mean that I just be able to say like E minor or E major or something, or when I'm listening to stuff from other tracks? Oh, if I don't see the key, yes. I mean, yes. I mean, it depends. If it's like, something like this, I may have some problems. But I mean, I can really recommend to do ear training. And yes, of course, I can help you out. And that's thanks for your question, of course. But I mean, there are actually a lot of videos on YouTube on how to explain how you can listen to chords. But I mean, it's pretty hard to play that chord. But the first thing you have to take care of is if it sounds sad or happy. And then you have to figure out the bass. And the thing is, you really have to train. You really have to get into ear training. This is something I can seriously recommend. It's getting like some. Okay, so let me just read your question. So what I need help with? I have a piano audio file which I need the chords to. Oh, well, I mean, probably not right now, but I mean, just in general, I mean, we can talk about this later if you're cool with that, but just in general to explain this, that you really have to go and get some decent ear training software, and you can even set this stuff up for yourself. So what I would just try to do is like hitting start with C major, which is obviously C, E, G. And the minor chord is C, E flat, and G. So these are the basic chords. Something is always, I mean, let's put it really basic, minor and major. And so you also have augmented chords. And minor augmented chords, I mean, with a raised fifth, okay? I mean, I don't want to get into music theory, like the basic core thing of music theory, but the most important thing is to me is figure out if it's major or minor, or if it's augmented. Let's say major with a raised fifth, or minor with a raised fifth, and then if it's diminished. So if you get these basic chords down, it's just these 4 chords. Or make it 6. You have a lot of information already. And I would just, try to learn this. I would just sit there and, record these chords to yourself. And that's why I think, you don't really have to study music or get too much into music theory, whatever, but it really helps, especially when you, when you want to listen to music and want to figure out chords. I mean, I can just hit you later on if you just, join my Discord channel or something, or write me an email. I can just put my email in here. Let me just do this for a second. I can't write my own name. Okay, so you can send me an email there. Okay, so we could, just compose something. You just write a little bit of maybe some decent, like some fantasy track or something. come up with a nice melody and just write some stuff. Just in case, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. So, yeah, so now the process starts again. So sitting here, being the composer and trying to come up with something, because I have no idea what we're going to do. I mean, we could talk about a few things. We could just still let's make it a little bit more. Let's do it like this. Maybe a little bit slower. So I'm just writing some stuff, and maybe you guys have some questions. Let's go with this. So it's how do you say Auftakt? It's like a pickup, right? So this is one. This red light syndrome again. So wrong note. Autosave. I'm always a little bit worried when I have this going on. Let's do it like this. So you will see that right now in a bit, because there is something really cool I also have going on with my template, which is actually something. Pop Norges, thank you for following me and welcome. What I wanted to say is that I have something which is pretty cool. Let me just come up with the strings for a second, because let's do it like this. Let's do it like this. Just a little idea. So one thing which is pretty cool, I have one I did that shortcut myself. So when you have when you go to key commands and you look for, I think, data, and then show channels. Oh no, not on the cursor position. You can do that too. So you have several things you can do, and here you have. Let me just pick that one. Not expression data. There's several things you can pick. Yes, this is the one. It says show channel tracks with data. And there is another one. I assigned Control Alt Shift and D to it. I always do these complex things, so I'm not messing up anything when I just hit like a P or an N or whatever letter, whatever key. And then I also have the Control Alt Shift and C for setting it back to show all channels and tracks. And what it does is pretty cool. So when you have all these tracks expanded, like I did right now, and they are all active, and you have written a bunch of down here or wherever, and you just want to get an oversight on everything you do, you can just go here and say show data, and it just shows you the 2 tracks I have written so far. So you can focus on that stuff and work on this without being cluttered. So I understand when people say, I don't want to have a template because it's too messy or it's too messed up and I don't like to see that many tracks. But the thing is, you can have all these tracks at hand right away, but without the clutter, without the chaos, because you can hide everything and bring it back when you need them. And I mean, I know there's a lot of features like hiding tracks individually. A lot of digital audio workstations have this, but I've never seen that before, that you can just say difference between show all tracks and then just show tracks with data. And you can also go that even further and say show track. I don't use this command. You could also say, if you have, let's say, like a big track and you have a lot of tracks going on, a lot of channels are active and everything, you can say show data on cursor position. So everything which is right at this point will be shown, everything won't. So you can, pay attention to just a very specific part of the track. So I really like this in just in case I always need a little bit longer to get this stuff figured out, because I'm a guitar player. But that's just a lousy excuse. So let me just yes, and then so let's now connect these notes here, because I tend to connect these notes which stay on the same line, on the same note. Because this is what I hear also very often, that you have like string parts going. I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you just they go like. So if you are a string player, you don't make these chord jumps. Of course, I could use the sustain pedal, but I know a lot of, or heard a lot of tracks where you hear these gaps, and these makes sense with instruments you control with breath, like flutes or horns. They have to breathe simply. So there's a little bit of a difference. Okay. And this sounds pretty lame and boring, but because there is no dynamics going on. And so let's do it like this. for now. And I have another button here saying show MIDI commands. Visible CC data. Now I get it. I think you can pick this here when you say show used controllers. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you, Alex. So just in case you have, you know, stuff going on assigned to different controllers, if you use, for example, Vienna instruments, you need a lot of controls, or you know, the trumpet or other instruments. Where you need a lot of controllers going on, and then you easily get lost. And if you hit this little button here, this little command, show used controllers only, you just see the lanes and the MIDI commands you have used by and now let's try this. Okay, so a little bit of a key change here, some wrong chords above here, and okay, let's take care of the strings. I have to want to put something in between here that you can no, I just have to want to have them in the same key for here and then move them up. Okay. What do you think about the Berlin Orchestra Inspire for beginners? Yeah, I mean that's a pretty cool package. I mean it's just all essential things, or the essential package of the Berlin instruments. I mean, if you're really a fan of the Teldex Hall, if you like the recordings, if you like the quality of the recordings, and I mean, it's just a great package to start with. And this is also something you have to decide if you really go for it, if you really like the sound. Just go for something. And I mean, it's kind of ridiculous because I'm a person right now saying don't listen to people, you know, if you recommending you stuff, because most of the time it happens that people just recommend stuff they own on themselves, and they bought it and they just recommend because they just have like one or two libraries, or even if it works for them, you never know if it works for you. So I would really just, get a little bit spiritual and say like following your heart and your guts. And if you really like the package, if you really want to work with it, this is the stuff you get the most done with. So it doesn't, if 1,000 people say this is the most awesome library ever and you get it and you sit there and say like, I can't do anything with it. This sounds, I don't like it. I don't feel comfortable. You probably know this with t-shirts or pullovers or jeans or whatever. You have a specific pair of jeans you really like, and then you just get a new one and say, wow, these fit like they were made for me. And even if they're just like $20 instead of 150 or something, and everybody recommends you these other things. I mean, not just to compare with the price, but yes, compare this package Inspire with, let's say, Junk XL Brass, or bigger packages like all orchestra libraries of orchestral tools combined. They are, of course, way more expensive. But if you feel that Inspire is a good package for you, just go for it. Hey, Patrick, Happy New Year. Let's do this. Let's just sketch this out. Okay, so we have this little thing going on here. As I said, I'm not a piano player. I'm probably the worst piano player on earth. I do a lot by ear. No. Yeah, I mean, I don't like packages where you have to, or at least, let's put it like this. If I would be starting out with a new package, I definitely wouldn't like to have 10,000 controllers. I consider this really like stuff when you, I mean, like Vienna Ensemble. I mean, not Vienna libraries. They are sounding excellent. They are really cool. But most of the time I'm doing, fantasy video game music or I do trailer music, and I just want to have stuff which I just can play without having like all these controls, because I feel I'm fiddling a lot around on this stuff already with I mean, not right now, but in general. Right now, just a bit. But I don't like to sit there and just destroy these creative moments with just 500 controllers where you have to put the release and the tuning and everything. I mean, you don't have to, but I mean, you get overwhelmed by all the controls. So I really love the ease of use of the libraries I'm using here. So you have to feel comfortable with your creative process. That's the most important thing. That everything that counts. Yeah, but I don't like. No. Just stick with the basic chords for a second. So I'm just hearing some cello. I'm hearing another. Okay, so I'm just. So I'm hearing something like this, and I'm going to just record this. Just to have it wow, that's wrong. What is going on in your head? So this is, the thing is, I should basically just to get a little bit into that thing of are you good enough? This question, which always comes up with us composers, are you good enough of something? I know that I could, be better at playing, piano, or with all the, the knowledge about, and if you see like other composers doing all these quick sketches, I really adore these guys, adore these people, and it's just sit there and like, but in the end, it doesn't matter. It's the same like when you started learning to walk. If you started learning to walk at 9 months, if you started learning to walk at 1.5 years, if it took you like until the age of 3 or 4 because of some disability or whatever, nobody fucking cares about this. When you receive, let's say, when you do your, when you graded, how do you say, when you finished university or you finished your application years or whatever, nobody, when you finished school, nobody and never ever fucking cares about when you started to walk. This is something, and what I'm trying to say with this is the only thing that counts is what in the end comes out with it. And that's why I'm that self-confident in sitting here and saying, I am the lousiest keyboard player and probably the slowest guy when it comes to this kind of music. But I just want to do it to show you that I don't care about what other people think, if how quick or how fast I could do this. And because the only thing that matters if how this sounds when the track is finished. And I'm fiddling around a lot. Maybe I will split up these string parts and put it on an individual individual tracks and just tweak around a little bit. But I'm just trying to get that basic thing done and work like I do. Because I mean, you probably heard some finished music from me, and I mean, of course, there are people out there saying, yeah, but you still suck, but I don't care. But I'm just getting into this topic because no matter how far you advance, no matter how progressed, how skilled you are with an instrument. I mean, I'm pretty advanced with guitar. I could just sit there and just writing that stuff, and but it's easier to do it on piano in a sense, but takes longer for me to process. I don't know how to describe it. I just love to doing it because it's laid out all. But if I could just play it with a guitar, it would be much quicker. But I like this way of getting stuff done, you know. And the other reason is I want to train it. I want to become, of course, better doing this with a piano, a keyboard. And the other thing is, it matters. It only matters what comes out at the end. So. I'm just going back to show all. So just have to get really. Let me just. So I just have a plan of how to go on with this, but I just wanted to stick a little bit with this part here and just get the cello done. So let's just load. Let's just layer these. Let's layer the. The Berlin strings, cello, and the Cinematic Studio strings. And let's save. So this is what I'm talking about. I mean, you get the beauty of this. You get this Berlin cello, and then you have listen to the Cinematic Studio strings on its own. So you know that the Cinematic Studio strings are recorded pretty dry. It's, as it says, studio strings, and the Berlin stuff is recorded at the Teldex Hall in Berlin. So you basically add a little bit of closed mic, but not with the room information of the Teldex Hall, but of a different hall. And this is what I really like doing and love doing. We could probably just for now just writing with a Berlin stuff and then layer it later with the Cinematic Studio strings here. And this is how I like to create my own custom sound. I mean, it's basically not custom sound, but I mean, also no client or producer ever said, you know, well, you were just using one string library. You just used, you know, Berlin strings or East West or, you know, orchestral tools, whatever. So it doesn't sound great because you could have used 2 or 3, but you create some kind of custom sound, because if somebody sticks with just one library and writes with it, it always sounds a little bit like this library or this room. And even though it is not noticeable to a client or a director or anything, it just adds a little bit of a special. It's like playing a little bit of guitar, or if you play violin or cello. So it's like a little bit layering it with a little bit of a live instrument on top of it, and it changes the entire track. And I also feel this goes on with using several libraries at once. So what I wanted to come up with. Something like this. Just maybe here. Oh yes. Maybe like this, something like this. And then we go to no, it's too high. Listen to this again. Okay. Yep. Okay. I'm sorry for the click. No. Like like this. Finally. Okay. And now I just let's just double this with the bassoons. And the woodwinds are a little bit more, let's say, responsive to the so I just have to move them a little bit so they are not getting the same attack as the cello does. Something like this, we're getting there. Okay. Now let's double a little bit of the flute with strings. Let me just copy this. And violin 1 legato. And also violin 2 legato. Let me just copy this over here. Oops. So this is one of these moments. Let me just copy this down here. And now I can go back to show data only. And I have an uncluttered session with just the tracks I want to work on. I just have to make sure that I move the okay. Okay, it's not because of the attack. I just have to get it the same attack. No, I don't want that. something like this. Just repeating the questions. Could you tell me which command you use when showing all tracks? I tried to use this with a template, but was the show all would all unhide hidden tracks. Would also unhide hidden tracks. Oh, I don't know. Actually, I just, I assigned them as I previously explained with the key commands that I just used. Just have to go through that. Can I just, yep. So I can see. So I have, if this is what you're talking about, so I'm just put my own key command here, Control Alt Shift and D. So I hardly use I hardly use the ones provided by the DAW. I always use the ones I feel most comfortable by doing. I also put Control Alt and O, which is the German word for Ordner. So it's folder. I just put this and I can instantly create a folder, or I can use A to instantly create an audio track, or an instrument track. So I create my own stuff all the time. So I'm sitting there. But are you talking of this when showing all tracks? All tracks. So as I said, let me just go back to the key commands. Just have to find that again. There must be some quicker way, but just, oh, actually there's show all. If you use a key command and then instantly go to the key commands, it brings you right to that command you just used. Right, so we're here. So this is agent show all channels and tracks, and the other one is show channels and tracks with data. And then you have several things you can do, like with data at the cursor position, or with data between the locators, which is also pretty helpful, or show only selected channels, tracks. But you're talking about that you were hiding tracks, and then suddenly this command also showed the hidden tracks. Is that if this is what you mean, what you're talking about? Okay, yeah, it can happen that you just use some command. The problem is the hidden tracks. Yeah, I never hide tracks actually, so I'm just using this show all tracks, or just show with data. So if I want to hide tracks, seriously, I'm doing it the old-fashioned way. I'm just creating a folder and just throw them all in there. So it may happen that I'm open some sessions, or it may also happen during future videos that I just create a folder track. It's called old, and I just put everything in there I don't need, because I think it's getting too cluttered when you hide tracks, when you work with all these commands like show data, show all, and then hide tracks, and then you suddenly say, why does this track not show up when you just hit all tracks, or why do they show up when you don't? I mean, whatever. Yes, so you get what I'm saying. I just and then I just have to finish this. Oh, I played without click. I'm actually more tight in playing without click than if I play with click. Yeah. So I still don't have any clue where this is going to, where this is going, heading for. I have absolutely no plan. I'm just, you know, making stuff up. There is still a lot of a little bit of attack going on in the second violins here. Oh, this is better, maybe strong. Oh, this is just the. Okay. Oh. This is active. I, let's do it like this. It sounds okay. Okay. We could have some, you know, like if we stick with the, you know, like a little bit Lord of the Rings. Like I'm actually not really sure if I'm. Please let me know if I subconsciously just, you know, recreating something from the Lord of the Rings score. So I have to be really careful here. Let's just introduce some little bass. Oh yeah. Okay, no, just had a brain fart. It makes more sense because we have so much automation already going on. If we just open, if we use this one. I just have to check the chords again. So it's E. I am on a C. Nope. Make this a little bigger. Let's use yeah. Yeah. So Okay. Sort of. Just have to. Harvest, thanks for following. Welcome. Sort of. Okay. Copy that to the strings. I would like to have a dramatic something like this coming up, so it doesn't stay in that typical, mellow mood. There's something happening, like eventually a ring ghost passing by, or whatever, just something which makes it a little bit more film-like and not just staying lame for. Oh, but yeah, we have to copy that over. Let me re-record this. Let's introduce some brass. Okay, let's load some Junk XL brass. Let's load the trombones. I just actually should the 3. Um, Here's something like this. Not really. Let's make it a sheet. Nope, I'm still hearing. Speaking of knowing minor and major. So I'm hearing something like this. So I have to leave that to the horns. And then after that, let's head into something into battle mode. But maybe on the next video, because we're already like, where you spent like 2 hours with me already. And no. So let's pick up again. Let's re-record this. Just have to load once again. I have to load the 12th trombone patch here from Junk XL. really love that library. Sorry, I just had to do it. And let's load the, just no, let's take, whatever, just let's load this 12 form patch. Yeah. Let's make it a little bit more dramatic. Something like this. Yes. Well, we just have to finish the cello and the doubled bassoon part. Okay, so I'm hearing some, let's show all tracks again. Some legato. I will legato ostinato. I think I should get a little bit more faster. Something like this. I will program this. So just turn on the microphone for a moment. So you don't hear less clackering of my keyboard. So let's just check this. Just have to maybe quantize it a little bit. Yeah, for now. Yeah, and then next stream, when we talk about this track, we should go a little bit more into the, drumish section, a little bit more percussion, a little bit more action. Okay, let's copy that over to the bassoon. And what I always do, I mean, I know that a lot of orchestral musicians are really bragging when it comes to holding breath and doing the circular thing and all this. But I think, especially when working with samples, it sounds a little bit more if you leave out these notes. So they can breathe. I mean, of course, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I don't have that much experience with playing bassoon, but I know that flute players and oboe players and piccolo flute players, they can hold, you know, their breath for a very long time, do the circular thing, but also probably bassoon players too. I'm not really sure, actually, to be honest, but when it comes to mock-up, when it comes to using samples, I think it's a little bit more safe to introduce some rests and some note of some rests, so it sounds a little bit more human-like. So this sounds like this. Yes, let's add samples. I really like that. Is this the right key? Like really soft. Oh, actually not soft. Who cares? Let's add the soft ones at the beginning. Yep, I like it. It's a little bit too much off here. Let's actually put in some randomize with 8 ticks. So it's just slightly off. It's too loud. What do you mean, Thomas, with staggering the same line between two players? You mean like loading, or what instrument you... You mean probably maybe between two bassoon players, or... Yeah, just layer it, just load in another bassoon player. Yeah, right. I just have loaded, I always use the solo instruments because sometimes, I'm not really sure if that's just me, but if I listen to sections of 2 or 3 players, it always sounds a little bit phase-ish, and it adds like a little bit of a synth character to the track. I'm not really sure if that's weird or if it's just me, but sometimes it sounds a little bit, especially with flutes and oboes, it sounds a little bit wrong when there are several oboes playing. And maybe just me, but I should definitely give it a go. Just let's do this for a second. Let's just copy that track, duplicate. I don't have this here. Let's duplicate the track and let's load the, let me just move this over. No, I don't have to anymore. No secret library in here. So, where are my woodwinds? Oh, it's oh, yeah. Let's load bassoon 2 legato. Just fool around with that. Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of layering, but to be honest, so far, you know, to be honest, I didn't care about loading several players of the same instrument. So yeah, yeah, no, I know it's an orchestrator thing. I just used it as a color for the cello ensemble, but it sounds you even can hear. Do you even hear it in them? I mean, it's obviously I have to turn it down a little bit, but yes. So I definitely have one more. Oh, let's name this. One more point on my to-do list to at least, you know, load legato, because the thing is, I also just loaded the show all tracks on the woodwinds. No, I loaded more, but I think I just loaded staccato sustains, yeah, some of the thrills. But that's the beauty of these of the orchestral tools woodwinds, is that in the legato instrument you have a little bit of staccato going on. Let me just mute the microphone so you can just, let me just mute the microphone for a second. So just making some stuff up, but it's pretty cool because it's basically like what I love when working with libraries, as I did in the Junkie XL video, that I also loaded the Marcato, the staccatissimo, and the sustain samples. So I have this all combined, so you don't have to take care about. I probably have a lot of attack going on here on these patches. Maybe the first note always. Yeah, but right, it would be, you know, something the orchestrator has to take care of. Yeah, I mean, we got roughly around 30 minutes, 30 seconds of music in 2 hours. So if I would write a game track right now for a company, I think that would be pretty okay to have like, you know, roughly like 30 seconds. And I also like what I also mentioned in a previous video, that I like to finish the red line first. So usually I would go that I just finish that track, assuming it's like 1 or 1:30 or 2 minutes long, that I actually have my marker here at 2:10. I changed the tempo, right? So usually I have, if it's default 120, it goes to like 2 minutes 30, because that's like the average trailer length of a track. So I already know, okay, you can go from here to here, just finish that thing as fast as possible in the sense of having that red line, and then start, let's say, filling the gaps or orchestrate or arrange that thing. Okay, so but I think I would call it a day for tonight, for today, and I would just I'm not really sure if I would be able to come to stream again tomorrow. I'm not really sure yet if it would be this track or if we finish something else. I will let you guys know, but just in case, if you have yeah, thanks for checking it out. Thanks for being here. And well, if you don't have any questions anymore, I would just, you know, save that track for sure, and then finish that, and we talk about, or I will release it, or whatever we do with it, it will be fine, of course. And I think we make it like a decent, like 2 minute, 1:32 minute game track or something, and see what we will end up with. But as far as I know myself, I'm pretty sure that it will be with chant, choirs at the end, you know, like orcish stuff and lots of percussion, and probably some blood and broken bones towards the end, so it doesn't stay with that. I just see these 30 seconds as an intro to go somewhere else. Okay, so yes, thanks for being here. It was really a lot of fun, and we talked about a lot of stuff actually, and I will upload that stream to YouTube, and whenever it is available, I will let you know. So thanks for watching. Have a good night, and see you soon. And of course, if you want to pop by my Discord channel, I mean, I just put my email in here. So just in case, if you want to be in there, just drop me a note, because I think it would take a little bit too long to get this invite link. And what the heck? I will just do it. It's just, you know, it just gets you to the rules channel. So we'll just set up that real quick. And I will just post it in here. So just in case, if you want to join my channel. Oh, that's it. That was it. So I just move this in here. And just in case, if you're not there, would love to see you over there, so we can chat once in a while. And I have this thing also open when I'm working, so just always up for a chat, because I can't work for like 4 or 5 or 6 hours straight. I just have to do something in between, and chatting is better than drinking coffee, of course. So okay, so thanks for being here, and see you soon, guys, and take care. Bye.